काफी
better.
कम आ रही है.
Now it's better.
Is it better now?
Yes, Prabhuji, now it's better.
Okay. Yasyai dine shakra madrshaha shus chaturdasha manva adi yukta yasyash cha chaturyuga sahas rakam.
Hare Krishna. In one day of Brahma, 14 Indras like me come and go, along with different sets of Manus and all the demigods. That one day equals 1,000 cycles of earthly ages.
Nishacha tava titham ya horatranam shatatrayi shashti uttara bhaved varsham yasyayustachatham shrutam.
According to the scriptures, Brahma's night is of the same duration. 360 of such days and nights make one of his years, and his life lasts 100 years. 14 times in each day of Brahma, different Indras, sages, demigods, Manus, sons of Manu, and special incarnations of the Supreme Lord come and go. Manu Anantram Manurdeva Manu Putraha Sureshwaraha Rishayo Misavtarascha Harer Sad Vidham Uchyate. In each region of Manu, 6 manifestations of Lord Hari appear. Indra, the chief demigods, the ruling Manu, the sons of Manu, the great sages, and the partial incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam 12.7.15. Purandara Indra has heard about all this, but is too short-lived to have realized it directly. Prabhuji, you're muted.
Lokanam lokapalanam api shrashtadhikaradaha palakaha karma falodo ratro samharakas chasaha.
He is the creator of the planets and the rulers he assigns them. He is the world's chief protector, the dispenser of the fruits of karma, and at the onset of his night, the destroyer of the world.
Text 34. Sahasra shirsha yalloke sa mahapurusha sputam Bhunjano yajna bhagaugham vasati anandadaha sada.
The Mahapurusha, the 1,000-headed form of the Lord, is always directly visible on Brahma's planet, personally accepting the countless oblations offered him and thus always giving delight to his devotees. At the beginning of each day of his life, Lord Brahma appoints qualified candidates to serve as Indra, the sages, the Prajapatis, and other demigods. Also, he protects the universe from chaos by establishing Vedic sacrifice and the social laws for individual classes of human beings. Thus, Brahma not only creates the universe but maintains it as well. Indra also says that he destroys it because when Lord Brahma goes to sleep at night, a break in his meditation partially devastates the universe. When Hiranyakashipu worshipped Brahma, with the demonic aim of subverting the universal order. He glorified Brahma similarly. कल्पान्ते काला सृष्टेन यो अन्धेन तमसावृतम् अभिव्याङ्यानाग्
Abhivyanag Jagat Idham Swayam Jyoti Swarochisha
Thank you.
Atmana Tri Vrita Chedam Srijati Avati Lumpati Raja Sattva Tamo Dhamne Paraya Mahate Namaha.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord within this universe. At the end of each day of his life, the universe is fully covered with dense darkness by the influence of time. And then again, during his next day, that self effulgent Lord, by his own effulgence, manifests, maintains, and destroys the entire cosmic manifestation through the material energy, which is invested with the three modes of material nature. He, Lord Brahma, is the shelter of those modes of nature, Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamogun. Living together with Brahma on his planet is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord called Mahapurusha. He is the thousand headed first incarnation, Mahavishnu, whose first further expansion is Garbhodikshai Vishnu. Both of these forms are described in Srimad Bhagavatam in the first and second cantos. Adyo Vataraha Purusha Parasya. The first descent of the Supreme into the material world is the Mahapurush.
Jagrahe Paurusham Rupam Bhagavan Mahad Adibihi Sambhutam Sodashakalam Adau Loka Shishikshaya.
In the beginning of the creation, the Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of the Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients for the material creation. And thus, at first, there was the creation of the 16 principles of material action. This was for the purpose of creating the material universe.
Yasyambasi Shai Shaya Nasya Yoga Nidram Vitanvataha Nabi Hridam Bujad Asid Brahma Vishwasrajam Patihi.
A part of the Purusha lies down within the water of the universe. From the navel lake of his body sprouts a lotus stem, and from the lotus flower atop the stem, Brahma, the master of all engineers in the universe, becomes manifest.
Yasya Vayava Samsthane Kalpito Lokavistaraha Tadvai Bhagavato Rupam Vishuddham Sattvam Urjitam.
It is believed that all the universal planetary systems are situated on the extensive body of the Purusha, but he has nothing to do with the created material ingredients. His body is eternally in spiritual existence par excellence.
Pashyanti adorupam abhadra chakshusha sahasra padoru bhujanana nanadbhutam sahasra murda shravanakshi nasikam sahasra mauli ambara kundalalot sat. Please go ahead.
Ah. The devotees, with their perfect eyes, see the transcendental form of the Purusha who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. In that body, there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adorned with garlands.
एतन्नानावताराणां निधानं बीजमव्ययम् यस्यांशांशेन सृज्यन्ते देवतीर्यन्नारदयः.
This form is the source and indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. Lord Mahapurusha is the support of material nature, and so he is described as the original source of the basic causes of creation, the five gross elements and 11 senses. He performs his pastime of creation while lying in the ocean that fills the bottom half of the universe. From his navel appears a lotus stem from which all the forms of configurations of material existence will be manifest. And at the top of the stem grows a flower where Brahma, the chief engineer of creation, is born. Brahma discovered inside the lotus stem of his birth the detailed plans of creation.
तद् विलोक्य वियद्व्यापी पुष्करं यद् अधिष्ठितम् अनेन लोकान् प्राग्लीनान् कल्पितास्मीति अचिन्तयत्.
Brahma saw that the lotus on which he was situated was spread throughout the universe, and he contemplated how to create all the planets which were previously merged in that very same lotus.
पद्मकोशं तदाविश्य भगवच्छक्तिचोदितः एकं व्यभाङ्क्षीद् उरुधा त्रिधा भाव्यं द्विसप्तधा.
Thus engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma entered into the world of the lotus, and as it spread all over the universe, he divided it into three divisions of worlds and later into 14 divisions. In meditation, Brahma discovered the thousand headed Mahapurush, who at first had been invisible to him from his lotus seat. He offered prayers to that Lord and made a special request. My dear Lord, may you come and live on my planet in this very form. Thus, the first Lord of creation became Brahma's constant guest. The Mahapurush is called Vishuddham, all pure, because even while giving shelter to the material energy, he remains untouched by the faults of matter. He is Sattvam, substantial reality, because he is all pervading, absolute truth. He is an incarnation of Godhead, but is also called the fountainhead of all other incarnations. This can be said because he is the total support of material nature, and as such, he is almost as complete a manifestation of the Supreme as the master of Vaikuntha, Sri Narayan. In addition, almost all the incarnations of Narayan appear in this world during the rule of Mahapurusha's appointed servant Brahma. The 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11.4.3 to 4, describes Lord Mahapurusha.
भूतेर्यदा पञ्चभिरात्मसृष्टे पुरं विराजं विरचय्य तस्मिन् स्वांशेन विष्टः पुरुषाभिधानम् अवाप नारायण आदिदेवः.
When the primeval Lord Narayan created his universal body out of the five elements produced from himself, and then he entered within that universal body by his own plenary portion, he thus became known as the Purusha.
यत्काय एष भुवनत्रयसन्निवेशो यस्येन्द्रियस्तनुभृताम् उभयेन्द्रियाणि ज्ञानं स्वतः श्वसनतो बलम् ओज इह सत्त्वादिभिः स्थितिलयो भव आदिकर्ता.
Elaborately arranged within his body are the three planetary systems of this universe. His transcendental senses generate the knowledge acquiring and active senses of all embodied beings. His consciousness generates conditioned knowledge, and his powerful breathing produces the bodily strength, sensory power, and conditioned activities of the embodied souls. He is the prime mover through the agency of the material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And thus, the universe is created, maintained, and annihilated. The Mahapurusha produced the total body of the universe and entered it as his pastime, but he did not do so for his own enjoyment. Rather, the enjoyer of the universal body is the most pious of conditioned beings, Brahma. The Lord, in his creative feature, is called Purusha because he lays down Shete within the city Pur of the universal shell. His beautiful body accommodates all the three worlds, and his pastimes consist of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. As Indra is stating, Lord Mahapurusha on Brahmalok consumes the offerings made in sacrifice, which resemble a constantly flowing river, because on Brahmalok so many sacrifices are always being performed. Thanks to the lords being satisfied by these offerings, the inhabitants of Brahma's planets are perpetually blissful. It is true that Lord Mahapurush is sometimes absent when he merges into Sri Krishna to join him in Mathura Dham on earth, and the ecstasy on Brahmalok is accordingly interrupted. But time on Brahmalok is so expansive that the duration of Sri Krishna's descent is barely noticeable. In effect, on Brahmalok, Lord Mahapurush is seen constantly.
Can you just pause for a minute, Mataji?
Yes,
I'm
Prabhuji.
just going to look up something
Do
and I
I?
will share that because when we speak about, I'm going to look up something and share it because I mean when we speak about time and Brahmaloka, I think this will be a very beautiful thing to understand about time, okay? And the cosmic scale of time. Just give me a second. I'll just look up something and share screen. Just give
I'll
me a second.
stop share, Prabhuji.
No, don't share. Don't stop now. Let me find it first. Okay, I think you can stop sharing and let me just see if I can share. Which one is it? Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I'm going to read this. Okay. Please hear this carefully. The only problem with this is on online there is no diagram actually. No. So when you read this article, please remember, just like you have an hourglass, right? You have seen, all of you have seen hourglasses, right? Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
So you, instead of a hourglass is kind of curved in the center, you just imagine two triangles inverted. You know, you understood what I'm saying? You just imagine two triangles inverted instead of the curve in the middle. Just imagine it is sharp, two triangles inverted. You know, so the same hourglass it is, but it is just that the edges are sharp and the center is not curved. It's just two points meeting together of two triangles, inverted triangles. Is it okay? Did you get that description?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
So when you read this article, remember that. So then you'll be able to understand it. Okay. So I will read this. It's called On Conceiving the Inconceivable. Some Principles in Understanding the Origin of the Conditioned Soul by Ravindra Swarup Das. Now, this topic is on the origin of the conditioned soul, but this, I mean, has a very nice description of time in this world, time with the demigods, Brahma's time, and things like that. You know, so that's why I'm reading this because although the topic is not directly connected, but the description in this will help us understand very wonderfully about. As we go up in the universe, how time dilates, you know. And Ravindra Swarup Das is actually Prabhu. In fact, is the spiritual master of is the initiating spiritual master of my wife. Okay, so we conditioned souls are originally Krishna conscious living entities, but owing to a desire to be independent of God and to be the supreme ourselves, we have fallen from our original position and become covered by Maya, illusion, who provides us with false identities of gross and subtle matter. So identity refers to, I'm just interrupting. So gross identity refers to the external features of our body, and subtle matter refers to our psychology, our mind intelligence. By the grace of Krishna and his pure devotees, we fallen souls can regain our original Krishna consciousness and in so doing go back to Godhead. This simple dramatic narrative tells the story of who we are, where we came from, how we fell, and how we can be restored. Srila Prabhupada tells us this story, and so do the previous acharyas and the scriptures. This story is the profoundest truth about ourselves, and there is no fault in it. Yet, the story becomes complicated when we discover from the identical infallible sources that the souls in the spiritual world are Nitya Siddha, eternally or perpetually liberated souls, and that no one falls from the spiritual world. Further, the souls in the material world are Nitya Baddha, eternally or perpetually conditioned, and we learn that their conditioned state is Anadi or without any beginning. These statements also are true without a doubt. How can these facts be reconciled with the story of fall and redemption? It is necessary to recognize that the seemingly straightforward linear narrative is more complicated than it appears because the narrative scope of action spans two worlds, one eternal and the other temporal. We can get some sense of the relation between these two worlds if we recollect the temporal structure of the material universe as presented in Srimad Bhagavatam. As one ascends from Martyaloka, our level or plane, through Swargaloka, the plane of the enjoying and administrating demigods or devas, and further through Maharloka and so on, the planes of the austere sages, to Satyaloka, the plane of Lord Brahma, time progressively dilates. Thus, as 360 years go by here in Martyaloka, only a year passes for the Devas in Swargaloka. Please note this. Thus, as 360 years go by here in Martyaloka, only a year passes for the Devas in Swargaloka. And 300 billion years, 300 billion, no? 300 billion years have to come and go down here for a single year to transpire in Satyaloka for Lord Brahma. So, only when 300 billion years pass in this world, then Brahma has finished 1 year in Satyaloka. Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that when Brahma on earth kidnapped the cowherd boys and calves from Krishna, the victims were gone a complete year by human experience. But for Brahma operating on Satyaloka time, only a moment, a truti, had passed. A truti lasts exactly 8 divided by 13,500 of a second. Just imagine that. You divide 8 by 13,500. Now, this is of a second. We know how second is so short. Now, that second, uh, 8 by 13,500 of a second is a truti. That is the duration for which Brahma kidnapped the cowherd boys and calves from Krishna. On another occasion, Maharaj Kakudmi, seeking a husband for his daughter Revati, took her to Satyaloka to ask Lord Brahma to arrange the match. Brahma kept them waiting until he had finished hearing a recital by Gandharva musicians. When Kakudmi finally presented his request, Brahma burst out laughing. Everyone Kakudmi would have wanted for his daughter was long gone. For 27 yuga cycles had passed, about 160 million years, while the supplicant and his daughter cooled their heels in the anteroom. Okay, this is interesting. Hear this carefully. A live television broadcast on Satyaloka of events on Martyaloka would disclose everything moving with dizzying speed, a blur of mountains rising up and dissolving away, oceans swelling and shrinking, peoples and civilizations rushing on and off the earth. By the same token, a live broadcast on Martyaloka of current events on Satyaloka would transmit motion so slow as to be undetectable by normal human vision. Only time-lapse photography, snapping the shutter every 1,000 years or so, would disclose activity. Keeping all this in mind, any questions so far? Should I read even more slower? Are you able to understand what is being said here? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay. Keeping all this in mind, imagine the temporal structure of the universe depicted in the form of an equilateral triangle with the base representing Martyaloka. Now he's saying imagine a triangle. The base of that is Martyaloka. Its, its width at the base stands for the duration of the universe in our years. So the duration of the universe in our years is, so this is basically representing time for us. The duration of the universe for us. That is 311 trillion 440 billion years. As we go up, the triangle narrows so that at the level of Brahma, the duration of the universe, still depicted as the width of the triangle, is 100 years of his age. Now continue up the universe past Satyaloka. The unit measure of duration continues to dilate. Time slows more and more. And finally, at the point where the material realm borders the spiritual, time has its stop. Here at the apex of the triangle, we reach the point of translation between material and spiritual worlds, between time and eternity. Which means as we reach the top of the equilateral triangle, time has to stop, right? Because now we're going to move into eternity, no? At the bottom, so the entire thing is universal time according to the different levels. So the base of the triangle is according to us. As we go up, then Brahma is 100. We are 311 trillion 40 billion. As we keep going up, Brahma is 100. And then further, as we keep, even the 100 keeps reducing. And finally, you get a dot. And beyond that dot, time stops. There is nothing more than that. So then he says, this is when we reach the dot, this is the now moment of eternity, an everlasting instant without past or future. We have seen how, when we go up the universe, a unit measure of time includes more and more of our years. What then happens when we take that process to the limit, as we do when we reach the apex? That single climactic moment embodies time without beginning and end. From this point of view, the lifetimes of a trillion Brahmas are over as soon as they begin. Who can even express such inconceivable things? It remains to be mentioned for the sake of thoroughness that the apex of our triangle marks the limit of the ascent to the absolute by mystical speculation. Now, this is speculation, that's what he's trying to say. This much we can gather with our minds. According to mystic speculators, the everlasting moment of eternity is necessarily spent in status immobility. Vaishnavas, however, pure devotees of the Lord, know of transcendental variegatedness and activities. Although eternity is described as having no past or future, there is still sequence, for there are leelas, pastimes, and knowledge, bliss, and beauty eternally increase. If we were to continue with our figure of a triangle, we would have to envision the two lines of a sides extending through the apex to form a second inverted triangle. Now you can imagine, we have a regular triangle first. Now you imagine a inverted triangle. Let this triangle with its base up and its apex down, which means inverted, signify the spiritual realm of transcendental variegatedness as it expands beyond the 0 point of nirvana. The figure of the true triangles, apex to apex, is simply another representation of what the Bhagavad Gita signifies by the metaphor of an inverted tree, a reflection of the original tree standing on the water's bank. This is actual example from the Bhagavad Gita. Our minds boggle even at the now moment of eternity of the impersonal speculators. Even further from our conceptions is a realm in which transcendental time, which has neither past or future, allows for activities, pastimes, and ever increasing qualities of beauty, joy, and knowledge. Now, to consider the okay, I mean, I don't know if you want me to continue, but I've made my point to understand how time dilates as we go up the universe. Should I continue, or should I continue reading, or should we go back to Brihad Bhagavatamrita?
Prabhu, could you please explain how this inverted triangle, I mean, why do we need to imagine an inverted triangle for eternity? Did I miss that point? I don't know. But
No, no. See, there is a now moment of eternity. Okay. Then beyond the now moment of eternity, there is also activities in the eternity. No,
ah,
that's why the inverted triangle comes to the picture. That is basically he's comparing it to just like the reflection of Krishna says, no, this material world is a reflection of the spiritual tree, right? It's like a reflection of tree on the water.
uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
that's why the inversion is coming because the in the material world is an inverted banyan tree, right?
Okay.
So that's why he's comparing it to that inversion of the banyan tree. I think I will go. We'll go a little later. I will continue actually. Then you'll get a more clearer idea. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's a very beautiful article because it explains about the logic of eternity. Okay. So now let us consider the issue before us. We must not only contemplate that inconceivable eternal realm, but we must also think about it in relationship with our world of past, passing, and to come. Let us proceed to do so. As we have seen, The transcendental realm is eternal present, an everlasting instant. Every soul in that realm must accordingly be characterized as Nitya Mukta, eternally liberated. This includes the souls that come from the material world. For if a soul enters that realm from the material world, we can ask, when did that soul arrive? The question does not apply. Once the soul gets there, that soul can only be Nitya Mukta. He has necessarily always been there. This is the logic of eternity. Now let us go to a matter equally inconceivable. Let's say, for the purpose of discussion, that a soul falls from eternity and sojourns in the material world. When did he enter the material world? We can only say that the fall is a non-temporal act that renders the conditioned soul bound from all time. The history of his incarceration in time has no beginning. The conditioned soul has always been conditioned. Strictly speaking, the question of when does not apply. Although bondage is not the soul's original condition, the state of bondage is necessarily described as anadi or beginningless, and the conditioned soul himself is characterized as nitya baddha, eternally bound or conditioned. There is no time when he was not bound. Yet such souls can attain release and enter the spiritual realm. Let us say that the soul who has fallen from that realm into beginningless bondage now returns. The duration of that bondage spans time without limit, as we have seen. Yet, now if we inquire from the perspective of eternity, how long has that fallen and restored soul been absent? The answer is he never left. Or alternatively, the question does not apply. For the logic of eternity dictates that no one falls from eternity, even if he does so. The logic of eternity also dictates that no conditioned soul can begin his eternal life, even though he does so. In considering both falling from and returning to transcendence, we must accept the logic of eternity to be true to what is real. Thus, we see that while it is true that no one falls from the spiritual world, we in fact have done so, and yet there is no contradiction. Okay, I mean, did you get it so far or is it confusing?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I had this question the Satyaloka, like where Brahma stays, that is a part of material realm or
Yeah,
spiritual
material. Absolutely.
material?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. So what he's trying to say here is that uh, if you go to the spiritual, let's start from that. If you go to the spiritual world, spiritual world, there's no concept of past, present, and future, right? So then the question comes up: when were you here? You're always here. Finished. So when we go back, there is no question about. There is no sense of what do you call it, past, present, future, right? Because it's an everlasting moment, no? So you're always here. So when we come to the material world, there's nothing called an everlasting moment. There is always past, present, and future, right? So then you say you're always here. That is the understanding. I hope that is clear enough now. I don't know if you can ask some question if you have not got it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, the first part is clear that there is no concept of time, so no concept of present, past, and future.
Yeah.
But when there is a concept of present, past, and future in the material world, then
Yeah.
how do we understand that?
So you are here now, right? So there is always past, present, and future for you, correct? So you can say, okay, you're always here. It's in Anadi, it's beginningless. That's what it said. I'm proper explain. It's not literally beginningless, but it's such a long duration of time. It's considered like that, no? Because
Yes,
there's
yeah.
a concept of now moment of eternity here, right? What does that even mean? Yeah, there's always past, present, future.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it means. So you're always here. That's what it means. Although technically it's not. Because if you consider the other way, the converse, if you consider, it will be correct, right? So when you go back, right? When you go back, okay, what is the meaning of that? You're always here, right? Because there's no question of past, present, and future there. Correct? Yet,
Correct.
yet, were you always there? No. Were you always there? No, technically.
Mm.
But that's the only way you can describe it. You're always here because there's no question of past, present, future there. No. Similarly, this is the only way you can describe it because there's no question of now moment of eternity here. There's always time here, right? So then you say you're always here. Although technically it's not like correct. Not it's technique not correct. It's technically difficult to describe. So practically it is said you're always here. Just like you, when you go back to spiritual, you'll say you're always here, like that.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Because there is no concept of past, present, and future, and here there is no concept of eternity. No, that's why when there's no concept of eternity, where is the question of? I mean, there's no question. Where is the question of saying that you are somewhere else? You are always here. That's it. Because you don't even conceive of what eternity means. No, in that sense, because time is always here. If I think you can understand this better if you take the other converse of it. If you go back, okay, because right now we are already here, right? That's why it's for us difficult to understand what it means. We're always here, but let's take it the instant that if you go back to the spiritual world, then there's no concept of time, no. So what does it even mean to describe past, present, future? At some point I was not here. What does it even mean? It doesn't mean anything because there's no time only there. No, so you're always there. You got it?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. As much. Yes.
That part of it you understood, no. So you
Yeah.
just you don't have to imagine this part. Just take the logic of it and apply it. Finished. Don't have to try to conceive it. You can try to conceive when you go back, right? That point is you're able to understand, no? Just leave it. So just so you just take the converse of it in this material world. That's all. You know,
Okay. Thank you.
you understood, right? Yeah. It's not, I mean, I understand it's difficult to conceive, but at least the going part is understandable, no? So you just so by logic, it is the opposite. That's all.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, we also refer to Nitya Bad in this material world.
Mm.
So, which is Nitya is also indicating the internality about the time concept. So, do we say that the time, so the time element does exist here, which is, of course, in the past, present, and future. But the eternity aspect that you were talking of, we do use this word Nitya Bad, which means that for eternity we have been conditioned. We don't know. We can't say pinpoint a time. Oh, this is the time when we fell down from the spiritual world to this material world.
Correct.
So we don't know that the time. We cannot describe the time of when it happened. But then
Correct.
we use the word Nitya Bad. So
So
that's
Prabhupada explains this.
yeah.
Srila Prabhupada explains it. Anadi does not literally mean Anadi. It's as good as Anadi, like that.
Mhm. Okay.
So that's the I understand. Of course, I think what has happened is during Srila Prabhupada's time, Prabhupada, whenever he is asked this question, he answered it in a direct manner. No, he was very clear when he was answering. In his lectures, in his conversations, he was very clear. He said, "We were in the spiritual world, we fell down." Okay. Now, after Prabhupada's disappearance, what has happened in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, even till this day, there are a group of scholars and devotees who have studied Jiva Goswami. And according to Jiva Goswami, uh, we were always here. Okay. So they say that Srila Prabhupada said we fell from the spiritual world just because we Kali Yuga beings cannot accept that reality that we are always here. So it was a preaching strategy which he used to keep us peaceful. But there's a problem with this argument. The problem with this argument is there are multiple problems with the argument. Okay. First problem is that someone is claiming to know what Prabhupada's mind is. Someone is claiming to know that Prabhupada, when he did this with for a certain reason. Prabhupada doesn't state that. So the reason is coming from someone else's mind. This is the reason. You know. How do they support it? For example, in the Bhagavatam, there are in this purports, there are some purports where he says, not a soul falls from Vaikuntha. Then they say, look, see. We are supposed to follow his books. So look at what he's saying here. The problem is that uh, you can't say, read only one thing which Prabhupada said and then say that is the conclusion. We have to read the whole of his teachings and then try to harmonize everything. How it is true, just like he's trying to do here. It is true that uh, we fell down. It's also true that we were always here. This is how it is true. He's trying to show that it is true. Both statements are true. And just like, so that is how we accept an acharya. We don't try to, what do you call it? We don't try to come up with some very ingenious idea. This Prabhupada said like this because of some preaching strategy. Now, our whole philosophy is based on the idea that Radha and Krishna are not married. So the highest rasa is Parakiya rasa. Now, Jiva Goswami, during his time, in his books, he wrote that Radha and Krishna are married. If you go to Bandiravan in Vrindavan, you can see Lord Brahma where he conducted that marriage. Right? But Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explained that Radha and Krishna are not married. So what the scholars did was, Jiva Goswami was living in a very conservative time. So just as a preaching strategy to appease not to agitate the people of the time, he said that Radha and Krishna are married. Reality is what Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur presented, that Radha and Krishna are not married. This is how the scholars had been understanding this kind of, at least they're speculating like this. Until Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came and explained in his Brahma Samhita, if you read the Ananda Chinmaya verse purport, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that in the spiritual world, Radharani and her associates do not have factual husbands. But their constitutional nature is such that they think that they are the wives of someone else. But in the material world, when they manifest their pastime, there is an external manifestation of husbands. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, this is just to bewilder the conditioned souls, to cover their access to higher realms of truth about Radha and Krishna, to bewilder them. So we see how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came and reconciled both both what Srila Jiva Goswami said and what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said are true. He did not take the position that because Jiva Goswami is a previous Acharya and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is a later Acharya, therefore Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur must be doing some preaching strategy or something. They didn't say that. They didn't accept that Jiva Goswami is right. He doesn't say Jiva Goswami is right because he's a previous Acharya. So therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur must have done this for some preaching purpose. They don't come up with all these speculations. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what he did, both of them are true. And he showed how both of them are true. So this attempt by Ravindra Swarup Prabhu is a very nice attempt. He tries to show how what Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who have explicitly spoken in those terms, are the same as what Jiva Goswami has spoken. So this is what Ravindra Swarup Prabhu is trying to show in this article. So when it says Anadi, Prabhupada himself says that Anadi, Suchishmita Mataji, Anadi does not mean literally eternal. He says as good as eternal, like that.
Right. Thank you. Prabhuji, I have another question.
Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, I just mentioned that Srila Jiva Goswami said that we always remain to be her. Yes, Prabhuji?
That is what some of the scholars are reading it as.
Okay. So, but then
I don't know if that is how if that is the only way to read it.
because Srila Prabhupada himself said that this very lifetime you can go back to Godhead. He's always professed that yes, and also that we understand that all the the exalted, the pure devotees, who've been in the Shuddha Sattva, state, that when they left the bodies, that we believe that yes, of course, they've gone back to Godhead. So the statement that we always remain to be here, I feel is very self-defeating. It's like, uh,
No, see, I think we should set aside what we feel here, because if you read the third canto, okay,
yes.
you will come across some sentences like this. There, in one purport, you can look it up on Veda base.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, it is a fact that no one falls from Vaikuntha. He writes that. Prabhupada
Yes.
writes that. Therefore,
Mm.
it is a fact that no one falls from Vaikuntha. How do you reconcile that with whatever else he said? You know. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is that Prabhupada explained these are only apparently contradictory. In the words of the Acharya, there's no real contradiction, right? So there's no real contradiction. There's only an apparent contradiction. So followers of the Acharya, what they try to do is they try to show how both the statements of the Acharya are true. That's what it is.
Mm.
So it is not that Jiva Goswami has a different idea of philosophy than Prabhupada. It's not like that. It's a question of
Yes.
how they presented what they did. That's a different thing altogether. But what I'm trying to say is that both of them are presenting the same thing.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you may be very surprised to know that that school is very, it's very vociferous. Radhakishori Mati even asked me some questions about it, I think in a previous class. There is quite a following for that group. You know.
Mhm.
So, as you continue your journey in ISKCON, you will encounter these people.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And they are not just some layman and all that. You will encounter, they could be scholars, they could even be gurus and all kind of things. You know, so this is
Mhm.
so I take the very simple position that when we are asked this question, let us repeat answers in the same manner that Prabhupada gave. Let's not try to invoke our own this thing and say, okay, now let Prabhupada wrote this, therefore no one falls from Vaikuntha. That's from his books. So we should start quoting that. I
Mhm.
disagree. I would think that the way Prabhupada answered that question when he was asked, we should also answer in the same manner that Prabhupada answered. Finished.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, I think this session was a bit long because of that this thing. I don't think we should get back to that because that's a whole different. We finished that verse, right?
Yes, we finished that. The one we were reading?
Yeah,
Yes, we were on verse 35 now.
we finished that, right? I mean, we finished the previous verse, correct?
Yes, we finished the previous verse. Jyoti
Okay.
Mata.
Jyoti Mataji, yes, go ahead.
Prabhuji, then how should we understand like dimension? There are different similarly things applies for dimension also.
Yeah, dimension also. Like if you see the image, if you see your shadow in water or what, it's all two-dimensional, no? You don't find three-dimensional this thing. So like that, so there is more than what you can, more than three dimensions in the perception of in higher level. For example, Brahma has got four heads. Why does he need four heads? Right. So anyway, yeah, that's a very vast topic, but it definitely seems that there are more dimensions than the three that we experience. I mean, I can't say this conclusively, but it does appear to be like that.
Anywhere we can read about it.
Yeah, fifth canto. Whether you can understand from there, I don't know, but yes, fifth canto deals with all these kinds of topics. And I think I can also refer you to some articles by Sadaputa Prabhu, Dr. Richard L. Thompson. Prabhupada is fond of him. He has written about this concept. Even Einstein says there are many dimensions. Anyway, that's a whole. He apart from he says space and time are one combination. Anyway, that's a whole big discussion. But in principle, it appears to be. Logically, yes, it's a possibility. Logically, yes, it's a possibility, definitely. But I mean, everything logical need not be true, no. I mean, many things can be logically valid. Logical validity does not mean they're actual uh, facts of existence. So like that, logically, yes, but then whether they're actual facts of existence, then we have to. I mean, I've not delved my mind into this topic a lot. Yes, I can send you some articles. Anandita Mataji,
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
right?
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji, Pranam
Yes,
to all
please.
devotees. So many things are discussed today. So, from the eternity point of view, that there is no time in the spiritual world. So we were there for forever. So
So
that
once
is
you go
understood.
back, it doesn't makes no sense to ask when did you come, because there is no question of time there. Only no, there is you're there forever. Yeah.
Okay, and here also, because there is past, present, and future, as like Prabhupada said, when did we come? We don't know. So that means we are here from Anadi Kal.
Obviously, that is for our understanding, but basically the idea is that Mataji, there is no question of time stopping here. No, there is
Yeah.
only the question of time. Always be. I mean, time is always part of this material world.
Okay.
Therefore, we say that we are always here. Just like when we go back, there's no me time, right? There's no question of asking when. So it means always,
So
right?
when we were reading like the triangle, expanded 311
Yeah,
trillion.
yeah,
We have
yeah,
started from there, and it goes up and up and up and up, and
yeah.
it is only 1 year for Lord Brahma. So
No, it's not. It's not 1 year for Lord Brahma. It's 100 years.
sorry, 100 years for Lord Brahma, then it just
Goes up.
co-joined.
Yeah, correct, correct.
So, all of a sudden, the next line came up like there is no time, and even we are also eternal. So, I was thinking in that way because for Lord Brahma, it is only 100 years, and then the idea came. Then we were talking for the material world, and now we are talking for the spiritual world. So,
Yeah,
there is no time.
correct.
So when it is said that when we read about Nitya Mukta and Nitya Siddha,
Yeah,
so because we are here
mm,
and from time immemorial, so we
mm,
are called as Nitya Baddha.
correct.
And whoever there is in spiritual world, they are Nitya Mukta.
Yes,
They
yes,
are.
yeah,
And once the jiva from this material world goes back to the spiritual world, they also become Nitya Mukta.
correct. You can only call them as Nitya Mukta. What else? Because there is, yeah, that's what he's explaining actually. But at the same time, see, this topic is a very large topic. It is not that Prabhupada also explains, not that everybody falls down also. He said just like in the material world, you have the prison house. Only how much percent of the common population is there in the prison house? Only 10%.
Yeah.
The material world is a prison. So it's not that, I mean, everybody will fall there. It's not, I mean, anybody can have a tendency to fall, but it's not that they fall. Yeah. Everybody has that tendency.
Does it really mean there are also there are different levels of jiva,
No, no,
like
no.
different levels of
No,
surrender in the
no,
spiritual
no, no,
world?
no, no. It's not a question of surrender. It's only a question of use of free will. No. Just like in this material world, how many people misuse their free will and go to jail? No, no. Very few.
Mm-hmm.
It is not based on certain. Everybody, whether you're from middle class family or from upper class family, any family,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
have to commit a crime. No. So that's not dependent on some status there.
So, okay, in the same way, it depends in the spiritual world also at what point of time one
Yeah, it's not dependent on
person.
one status. It's not dependent on one status at all there.
Okay.
It's just purely use of free will. That's all.
It can happen with anyone.
Yeah, Prabhupada says no that it can happen with jivas only, not Shakti Tattvas and all that. Only jivas.
Obviously,
Yeah.
because
Only
Lord
the
Krishna
marginal
is.
potency. Only with the marginal potency. Yeah.
So Krishna is there, Krishna's wives and friends and parents are there. Okay. And then rest of them are the jivas, right?
Uh, no, when you say Krishna's, I mean, like, it's not that everybody is necessarily a jiva, no? You can also have, uh,
Some eternal associates.
like, for example, Radharani and her Shaktis, they're not jivas, right? They're internal
Yeah,
reality.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not that everybody is a jiva there. Yeah, you have a lot of jivas, but everybody's not a jiva there. Like Baladev is this thing is an expansion of Krishna, no? He's not a jiva. So like that, there are expansions of the Lord himself and expansions of his Shakti.
Mm.
You know. So like that, there are expansion of his, and I mean, Purusha, I mean, like for example, his own expansion, that also expansion of his Shakti. So Lakshmi is the expansion of a Shakti, like that. Expansions, I mean, marginal potency, they are subject to, they can fall.
Understood. So only the marginal potencies are subject to this
Yeah, yeah,
for
fall.
they can
Yeah,
they can be the victim of evil.
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So then somebody
probably
will ask, there is no Maya, how did you get captured by Maya? No, that is, you can't ask these kind of questions because you have a free will, right? The free will can be exercised anytime. The moment you decide, it's not that some external influence is making you use free will. Their free will by definition means your choice. It's not that some external factors can affect your free will. Otherwise, what is the meaning of free will? Free will means it's free. It's free. That's what it means. But the
yeah.
moment you make a choice, you may get conditioned. But the
Mhm.
choice to make is yours, right? If you can see, you are controlled either by Mahamaya or Yogamaya, but you have to make the choice.
Mhm.
You cannot say that Mahamaya influences your choice, Yogamaya influences your choice. You can't say all these kind of things. Choice is your choice.
Yeah. In the beginning of the paragraphs that we read today in the Brihad Bhagavatamrit, when it was describing about the Mahavishnu, and it was written that in this way Mahavishnu is the permanent guest of Lord Brahma. A line was written like that.
Correct.
So Mahavishnu lies on the causal ocean, right? And Lord Brahma stays in
Correct, correct. I
Satyaloka.
knew that question may come up. I knew this question may come up, but I don't know how actually. Geographically, I know what I know what you're asking, but geographically, I don't know how. Because first of all, he is much larger than the Prabhupada. Also, when depicting Lord Brahma and the plan, he said first they depicted Lord Brahma very big and Vishnu lying down. So Prabhupada said this is not how you depict it. Brahma is very small. So depict Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu very big, and I think, I mean, if I understand it rightly, I don't think. I know, correct. I don't think it's being referred to Garbhodakasai. I think it's referring to Karanodakasai Vishnu himself, the one who's the cause. That's why he speaks about Mahavishnu, right? That Mahavishnu, the Karana, the one who, I mean, the original cause is the one who's coming and lying with Brahma. But then again, you can ask, where is the Karana ocean then, if he's with Brahma? So
But
we can,
Mahavishnu and Karana Dakshina Vishnu aren't the same.
yeah, they're the same.
Yeah.
But Karanodakasai Vishnu lies in a Karana ocean. So if he
Yeah.
comes and lives with Brahma, then you can ask the question, where is he then?
So
That's so,
that's what you said, no? Geographically, I
I'm just
don't
saying,
know.
no, I'm just saying that Garbhodakasai Vishnu is also there. So Garbhodakasai Vishnu is there. He's lying on that Garbha ocean. The lotus is born from there. I mean, the stem is coming. The lotus is born, and now it is said that Karanodakasai Vishnu is coming and also staying with Brahma. So you have, looks like all the three Vishnus are there in this material world also. Shirodakasai is anyway within this material world.
Yeah.
Garbhodakasai and also Karanodakasai is coming and living within our universe, I mean to say.
And it's also written that Mahavishnu, though he lives in this material world, he is Vishuddha Sattva. He is in Vishuddha Sattva. He does
Yeah,
not
yeah,
touch
yeah.
his
Correct, correct, correct.
three qualities of this material world. But when we discuss, when we read in the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, that why doesn't Krishna comes directly in touch with this? Why the whole Srishti is been done by Mahavishnu and other two Vishnus? Then this Vishnu concepts comes in the picture, and they do not have the eternal abodes in the spiritual world. So because they three Vishnu gets in touch with this material world, so they are here and not Krishna. So how to understand this? That they are in the material world, they are the one who is the who are the causes of this material world, and but they are in Vishuddha. They do not get in touch with the qualities.
Mataji, it's very simple. First of all, it is not that. What does it mean? With the material world is also part of the spiritual sky only. It is
Yeah.
one fourth, one fourth. And
Mhm.
Mahavishnu is lying in this part.
Mhm.
But he's fully spiritual, just like explained Sastra. I mean, like when they chant this Purusha Sukta, they are offering the prayers to this Vishnu only, who's got thousands of arms and legs and all that. Yeah, but we need to see what is the perspective we're looking at. What does it mean there in the material world? It means that it is a region where they are situated. That's all. It's just a
Mhm.
location. It's just a location. That's all. So, so they perform a certain leela, but material world is eternal, by the way. You should remember that. That is explained also. The material nature is permanent. Only the manifestations may, but material nature is permanent.
Yeah, yeah, understood.
Yeah, so it's eternal. Material nature is eternal. But the manifestations may be temporary, but the nature itself is eternal. So they're living in this particular location of the spiritual sky. That's all. They're okay. And how are they living uncondemned? Just like we are, Krishna is seated in our heart also, right? He can be inside our heart, but not touch it, no. I mean, not touch matter. It's not, that is it. I mean, what is, I mean, I don't know how to explain that. Basically, when he says he does not touch matter, it does not mean that it's not present inside matter. Basically, when you say touch, this refers to the concept of uh, entanglement. Let me put it like that. There's no, I don't know how to put it. Yeah, it refers to the concept of entanglement. It says, right, like the spiritual, I mean, the two birds sitting on a tree. One word is just witnessing, that's it. Other person is acting. You know, that's the difference. The bird is eating the fruits of distress and happiness.
Yeah, understood, Prabhuji. Yeah, now I understood.
Because Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, the navel, first of all, the lotus, the stem is coming from his navel. His navel is spiritual only, no. But
Yeah.
the material world is coming from his navel. So these kind of things are generally difficult to understand because they represent the transition between matter and spirit and how exact we can understand we are entangled, but how the Lord is not entangled is very difficult to understand.
Hmm.
At least we can accept it.
So when the Trinity, like Lord Brahma is in the mode of passion, Shiva is in ignorance, and Lord Vishnu is in goodness. So he is in pure goodness.
Pure
That way.
goodness, yeah, transcendent.
Okay. Thank you.
Suchi Smita Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I heard your very enlightening lecture in the morning, and I think I'll go through that again as well as this class. I think I would love to relish going through the recording of this class again. Prabhuji, in the lecture in the morning today, you were talking that the Lord comes in the 10 avatars, and he appears in the bodies of different species as well. And then you just made the statement that he appears in each of these species to give association to the souls trapped in these bodies.
Correct.
So were you meaning that specific that if he comes as Vara, and then he comes in the to associate with the souls in that very body? Is that what you're meaning?
No, souls in that body means like all the boars get association of Varaha, no?
Yes, yes.
Like
Yeah.
that. Like that.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. And
Understand.
also other animal species, I think, whomever he interacts with. Also,
Mm-hmm.
Bhakti Sasi Thakur makes one more point. It also, I mean, anyway, that's a little bit esoteric. I'll send you the article. You can read it. It also
All
represents the evolution of the serving mood of the jiva.
right. Please share the article, Prabhuji.
It also represents. I mean, in short, it also represents the evolution of the serving mood of the jiva. You know, the 10 avatars, the progression.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
share it. Just remind me to share it on this thing. What do you call it? The group. I'll share it. I may forget, but please remind me that.
All right, Prabhuji. I'll do that.
Prabhuji, did the Lord really associate with the other boars during this incarnation as a boar?
Yeah, only some things are mentioned here, right? It's not that. Just like for example, Matsya, when he appeared in the water only. No, in the water there are other fishes, right? So it's
Okay.
not that the earth was empty at that time. So earth is
Oh,
there. Something is there on the earth, right?
okay.
Like that. It may not be explicit, but by implication. I
Okay.
mean, not by implication, because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says it, we accept it. That's all.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we can understand that it must be true. That's all. And it's not logically difficult to comprehend it. It's easy to comprehend even by logic.
Mhm.
We have not come to the conclusion because of the logic. I'm just saying that we are accepting the conclusion given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We're applying the logic to justify the conclusion. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, so today was a very interactive class. Sorry for being late. Okay, so let's close for today and we'll resume again next week.
Prabhuji, please share the links for both the articles that even
Yeah,
that
today's article,
Patrick
just
also
now
was
what we
asking
read.
that
Yeah,
the afternoon
sure.
they'll share.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa
Vasudevaya
sindhubhyabhyo
Patyanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namo.
Krishna Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Thank
ki
you
jai.
so much.